Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first basic orientation, getting started. Going to get you through the very, very first early steps of working through Domino 1 right after you get your invitation to set up your account. Let's go ahead and take a look and just get things started. So the first thing that you're going to be presented with is the splash screen. Easy for me to say, right? Try to say that 10 times fast. This is where you'll always get started once you fire up the platform. Of course, after you log in, you'll get the login and password screen, and then you'll get to the splash screen. And typically, in the second column there, you've got your most recent projects. You'll probably just hit that top one, whatever you've been working on lately, and fire that up. But I do want to let you know that some of you may be getting connected with Domino for the first time as a developer and not really quite understand the power of Domino as a learning content management system and as a software as a service, a SaaS platform. So in the first column, what you're going to be able to see is all of the other users that are currently logged into the platform. So since this is a browser-based platform and it's SaaS-based, you can have multiple designers, developers, whomever you have in the platform working together. And that's what makes Domino, one of the many things that makes Domino so powerful, is that ability to collaborate on the same project in much the same way that you would collaborate inside of Google Docs or in Office.com with Microsoft or any of the other common SaaS-based products that you work with. You and your designers and developers, anybody that's inside of your specific instance of the platform that has a license can be in the platform at the same time, working on the same projects, sharing resources with each other, sharing the media assets with each other, and being able to create a workflow for your team that is much, much smoother and quicker and more productive than any system that you've ever had in the past. So that's one other really great reason to be switching over to Domino, is to be able to have that collaborative working platform and to help your team change up its business processes and to get more efficient at the work that you're doing. And again, like I said, the second column has your most recent projects, and then there's the ability to browse old projects, the complete list of projects, and then you can also create a new project from the splash screen as well. In our third column, we have Idiotic, which is the instructional designers in offices drinking coffee live stream that we do every Wednesday morning. That is a ton of fun. We always have a very special guest joining myself and my colleague Chris Van Wingerden. And we have a great time talking for about 45 minutes with other instructional designers and professionals in our industry or very close tangential industries. So join us for those or catch some of the replays at idiotic.com or at the podcast links that are listed there as well. You can also have direct access to the community portal, which has a lot of articles and answers to other people's questions at community.domino.com or at this link right here. We also have a user group within LinkedIn. There is a specific Idiotic user group for those folks who want to talk about instructional design issues and topics and maybe some of the guests in some of the past episodes. That's for Idiotic folks. But then we also have a LinkedIn group just for our Domino users to talk about other issues if you have any questions and you want to go there. One of the first things I want to do, and one of the reasons for this very first video, and what I tell everybody that I do in an initial orientation, is there are a lot of ways for you to help yourself and to train yourself into becoming a very experienced and powerful user of the Domino platform. But it takes some time, and so you've got to commit some extra time out of your day and go through these fantastic training guides that we have set up. If you look in the upper right corner of your screen from the splash page, there's a Getting Started link, and then up in the right-hand corner. And when we click on that, that'll take us to a page that has all of our training guides on it. There's 3 of them. And it's important to understand how they flow. So the training guides, the first one to the left here is called Authoring in Domino 1. And it definitely gets you started in the basics of Domino, but it starts you off in Claro. And even if you've purchased the tool and you know you're going to be creating responsive projects and responsive content using the Flow platform within the environment within Domino, definitely start off with this first training guide, because it's going to teach you all of the basics, all the interface basics, how to add media content, how to work with the element fields, the placeholders, the content placeholders, how to create text, how to delete elements from the screen, right? All of the basics, and how you can go through and create questions, and you'll go through the whole process of creating a project, and you'll create that in Claro. And what you'll get is a really, really solid understanding of building a project inside the Domino platform. Once you're done with that, then you'll move over to learning to think in responsive design. And this is a shorter training guide, but this is very comprehensive in helping you better understand what it means to think in responsive design and to start to shift that design mentality from creating very fixed pixel based PowerPoint style e-learning projects and rethinking to how the internet works and how web pages work and how they flow, hence the name Flow, and how your content flows on that screen and modifies and adjusts and wraps based on the type of device that a user is viewing your content on, whether or not it's a mobile phone, a tablet, a larger mobile phone, a smaller mobile phone, a small tablet, a large tablet, a large monitor on a desktop, a medium-sized monitor, or maybe it's a big monitor, but the browser you currently have to only half the size of the screen. Your content will still look great. And so responsive design is incredibly powerful. It's definitely the future of content, and everything is shifting in that direction. But one of the things that I have learned in helping folks make this transition from that old style fixed pixel design environment to a more responsive design space in the internet and web-based pages is understanding that it's not easy to make that leap just in your thinking about the design of your content from a slide-based visual thinking, and when you're thinking about your content, to something that's more responsive. And the only way you can do it is to get in there and to just start creating it and start looking at other courses and other projects that have been created in responsive tools and understanding both the limitations that you end up having, but also the benefits. And I will tell you this, once you get used to creating content in a responsive environment like Flow, you're going to have a very hard time wanting to go back, and you're going to feel a lot more restricted inside of that fixed pixel environment for a lot of different reasons. Now, there's a lot of reasons why you would still want to be in a fixed pixel environment. Don't get me wrong. Both environments are still important and are great for specific feature sets and for a particular design solution that you're trying to solve. But now you've got two different environments for creating solutions to those issues. And we're going to get a lot more into that in future videos. But for now, just understand that if you feel frustrated and you don't quite get why somebody would do responsive or why you can't do certain things in responsive, just know that everybody struggles through that first bit of the learning curve, and you're not alone. And there's help that you can reach out to, and people can help walk you through that. And I try to do that as best I can, hence these videos. So a lot more of these videos will be focused on that. And the last training guide deals with our tool called Capture. It's the only piece of the tool that you have to download onto your desktop. And it's a very, very small, fast download. And that gives you the ability to create software simulations, screen captures with audio or without, and to be able to also create video and embed a video of yourself if you'd like, and teach you kind of how to go through those process and be able to embed those simulations inside of either your Flow project or your Claro project, and make it a part of the overall learning structure that you're going to be thinking through and designing and creating inside of Domino One. So there's that. And then you also have another button here on this page that connects you quickly to the community. That's community.dominKnow.com. And then we also have a very quick way to get you to that same site, but to be able to ask a question. It just opens up that ask a question field immediately once you get to the same site. We also have user guides. Think of these as technical manuals that basically give a very well-defined description of each one of the features and elements that you see on all of the screens inside of the Domino platform. And there is also a samples page, and this has just recently been updated, and it is a fantastic look at what you can do with the platform, and some of the elements and some of the features that get highlighted in these different courses are pretty impressive. So if you need a little bit of inspiration, you can always go there. And then, of course, here is another link that will take you to idiodc.com, which is basically home base for the idiotic live streaming podcast that we do. So you can join us there. So just know that this page is very, very important in your journey to getting started with Domino, and bookmark it, do whatever you need to do to to get comfortable learning the tool. You can check out this particular page and give you everything you need to get yourself started. There's going to be other ways to get to this page too that I will show you shortly. So there is this getting started link here, which is how we got to it from the splash screen. But let's go ahead and we'll open up a project, and then we'll find the secondary way to get to it. So when you first start a project, you're going to be presented with these two options. I've already talked a little bit about the differences between Flow and Claro, and this is how you would start with a Flow project. Just click on this button here. Claro is here. Also know that we have a import feature, so you can take some PowerPoint slides that were created by your subject matter experts, or maybe you just like designing in PowerPoint first and then uploading it. This upload feature or import feature will convert it into Claro. Because Claro is also fixed pixel, and it's very similar in how all of those elements are defined and created inside of a development environment within a browser. And so PowerPoint converts very nicely over to Claro. It does not import into Flow, and that's because you really do want to rethink your designs when you're taking some content out of a PowerPoint presentation and putting them into a responsive tool like Flow. And we can learn more about that in some other videos later on. But just note for now that when you do an import, the only option you have is to import that PowerPoint file into a Claro project. You can also access recent projects here, just like you can from the splash screen. And you can also access baselines. Now, baselines are an interesting addition to the platform because it's a great way to share projects between authors, because we do have some security and access privileges set up in place. So you can either be signed into the platform as an administrator, as an author, or as a reviewer. And as an author, you're only able to edit the projects that you have either created yourself within the platform, or somebody has assigned a particular project that's already been started. It's been assigned to your license to go in and work in and to work with. So just know that. And so if somebody creates a project that is really cool, and that wants, you guys want to create more projects based on the structure created in that project, just have that author set it up as a baseline, and then everybody else has access to it, because when you click here, Any project that has been identified as a baseline project gets displayed here. And then even though in all of these instances I've created these, if I was a different author, I could select any one of these projects and it would duplicate it, and it would set me up as the author or the originator of that new version of this project, allow me to rename it and then edit it, and then it would be mine under my name. And then I would have to invite the other person to it if I wanted them to be able to help design and develop it. So there are other issues like that. And again, we'll talk more about that. This is just for an initial getting started phase. Just know also, the very first thing when you get into your project is to keep an eye up here in the upper right hand corner and double check and make sure that you are set up to designer. These different elements, unless your admin has specifically said we only want to give this particular user essentials access or essentials plus access. Basically, in essence, what it gives you is just a limited range of tools to choose from, and that just makes it a lot easier for you to learn. If you know you're not going to be doing any coding, any real advanced triggers and actions, and other real fancy features, this just gives you the basics, the essentials. And essentials plus also gives you access to the media library and allows you to upload some stuff. And then designer mode gives you access to everything. And I think that's where most people are, but there are a lot of reasons why. As a team, you might want to set up a few of your either contractors or subject matter experts, maybe just in the essentials mode. But again, more on that later. I might do one particular video just for discussing those three design settings by themselves. So let's take a look here and let's go back and let's start up that Claro project. So this is basically what it's going to look like when you start going through that training process. You're going to create a player experience. There's multiple different players you can choose from, and each one has a different set of features built into it. So the most common is the modern learning. So modern, basic e-learning style. And you can obviously select from one of these templates, but you're probably going to want to give your design a custom design based on your company's colors and your own imagery and things like that. So we'll start with a blank template. We'll click use this template, and this is how everything starts up. And this is phase one of getting started with dominKnow. The most important part, like I said, in this particular section is just to know how to help yourself, how to get spun up. And as we wrap this video up, I'll just show you where you can get all that extra support as you're going through and learning this process. If you get stuck, if you start to get a little frustrated, you can click the support link down here at the bottom, and you can click contact us. So you'll just give a little message at the top, and then you can just give as much of an explanation as to what's happening in the system as you can, and then click send, and our support team is super responsive and they'll get back to you very, very quickly. And then, of course, here is the getting started page again, which is where I was just showing you earlier. It's this getting started page with all of the training on it. It's just another way to access it. And then you can also have direct access to those technical docs, these user guides here and here. Specific user guide to Flow and a specific user guide with all the features in Claro. So that is the most important thing you need to be looking at. And as we get to the end here, let me just open up this getting started again and launch this view. And you should get started with this training guide. There is a lot here. And so like I said earlier, you should devote some time, commit an hour or two, depending upon how fast you want to get spun up. And just work your way through this. If you did about an hour or two a day, you can probably crank through this in 2 or 3 days. maybe 4 days if you go really slow and you're very thorough in your development and in your learning. And it's going to depend on how much experience you have as well. But, probably anywhere between 2 and 4 days, probably averaging around 3 for most people, 2.5 maybe. So just know that it's going to walk you through all these processes. You've got all the assets you need. It's going to, on this page 1 welcome page, they're going to ask you to download this zip file. That's going to give you all the assets you need, so you don't need to waste a lot of time looking for a video of your own or an image of your own or anything like that. Everything you need is right here within this training guide. And just know, too, interesting point, that all of this documentation has been created inside of dominKnow. So this is an actual dominKnow created responsive design that you're looking at right here to create all of the training that you'll be going through. You will also be running into examples of Capture, the software simulation, like right here. So this will show you how to get started and launch your first quick start project, which is basically what we've walked through here. Obviously, it starts off at the splash screen. So with that, I will wish you guys a lot of luck. Come back here. There will be more videos being added. Hit up community.dominKnow.com. Check us out every Wednesday for Idiotic. And that's all for now.